All right, everyone, recline back on your mats. Soften your eye gaze and perhaps close your eyes if that feels comfortable for you. Start to recognize the natural rhythm of your breath. And allow yourself space to arrive this morning in this class on your mat, in this body, in this moment. And see if there's any pieces that you can allow to just break away, any thoughts that have been cropping up that are not particularly helpful. And take a scan of your body from the very base of your feet. Simply recognizing your current status, working your way all the way up through the crown of your head. And then a softer pass once again from top to toes. And I invite you to set a dedication or intention for this practice. If it's something you've been working on, then let your thoughts drift to that. And if you're looking for something else, then the intention I suggest to you is allowing yourself to be, not to do, not to make, not to prove, allowing yourself to be. And we're going to take a few breaths together as community sealing these dedications. Take a very deep, full breath in. Feel your back press against the mat and ribcage expand. Your chest and your belly puff up. Let your shoulders drift back. Hold at the top just for a moment. Not an exhale. Let it all go. Feel your belly and your chest drop. Everything starts to move inward. And then pause at the end of that breath. Take another very full, deep, slow breath in. Noticing the changes that occur as you breathe in, hold at the top for a moment, exhale, let it go. And then give yourself one more for yourself, for your dedication. And this once more, just let it be. Start to rock your head from side to side. Let right ear come down toward the mat. And then rock your head to the other direction, your left ear coming down towards the mat. Reach your arms up above your head in good morning stretch. Maybe stretch your toes out in front of you. You might find your low back comes up off away from the mat. And then maybe rock a little bit from side to side. You can grip your fingers together. A nice good morning stretch, whatever feels right for you here. And then gently draw your knees in towards your chest. Take your hands to the backs, to your shins rather, and then rock a little left and right, massaging your back. And then we're going to take a really gentle twist here. So right knee stays in, extend left leg out, pull your knee across your body. Right arm comes out to the side to give yourself some counterbalance. Adjust your shoulders as you'd like. Find that same long, full breath here in this twisted position. Filling up all the way. And then exhaling. Notice if your knee drops down towards the earth as you exhale, maybe comes away as you inhale. And then on your next exhale, take your knee back to center, right leg extends, pull your left knee in, and then draw your knee across your body, opposite direction. Adjust as you need, and then again, 3 breaths. Allow yourself to be just recognized. And And at the end of that third exhale, take the left knee back up to center again. Bend both knees and then place them into the mat. So I'm going to do the hand to toe pose. If you'd like to use your hands, please do that. I'm going to be using a strap. So take your strap to the base of the ball of your right foot, or take your hand to your calf or to your toe. And then allow your right leg to extend upwards so you can flex your foot. Knees bent are fine. If you've got your hands on the strap, make sure you drop them down so your shoulders are flat on the mat. If it's comfortable for you, let your left leg extend out, just drift onto the mat. If not, you can bend your knee and protect your low back a little bit more if that works for you. Press up through your right heel, flex your toes towards your face, and then start to draw your leg closer toward your body like your toes would touch above your head. Long inhales, slow exhales. All right, release tension of strap or hands. If you're using straps in both ends to your right hand, turn your right toes out to the right and then draw your right leg open to the right. Press through your heel. And then if you'd like, you're going to start to draw your leg like creating an arc, like your toes would touch above your head once again. If your left hip starts to come away from the mat, just drop back down. Loosen that tension. Right leg comes up towards the ceiling. Switch the strap to the left hand, or you might want to switch your entire hand. Turn your toes out to the left and then drop your leg across your body. Your right hip will come up away from the mat. Right hand comes up as a counterbalance. Continue flexing the right foot. Notice if the tension has transmuted to other parts of your body, like your jaw. Maybe you're clenching your fists. All right, loosen that tension. Right leg comes back up to the ceiling. Bend both knees. Place your feet to the mat. We're going to switch to left side. Same but different. Left leg comes up. Slide your hands down the strap. Shoulder blades flat on the mat. Release right leg out if that's comfortable. Flex through your toes. Press up through your heel. And gently draw your leg closer to your body. Release that tension. Strap in left hand, left toes out to the left, drop your leg out. Flex through your toes. Shoulder blades are still resting back. Loosen the tension of your leg. Take your leg back up toward the ceiling. Switch the strap ends to your right hand. Turn your toes to the right, then drop your entire leg across your body. Left arm comes up to provide you with balance. Start to loosen that tension. Take the leg back up toward the center again. Bend both knees. Set the strap off to the side. I have like the longest strap in history. I'm not really sure why. Such a short body. Take your hands to the backs of your thighs. You're going to rock up and down the length of your spine. If it's comfortable, you're just going to come to a seat. If this doesn't feel great, just roll over onto one side and come to Sukhasana pose with one ankle in front of the other. First thing we're going to do here is just slump forward. Give yourself a really long reach. So allow your back to round over, and you're going to reach your hands out long, long, long. Come up onto finger pads and wrap your elbows up to the ceiling. This is going to facilitate your shoulder blades kind of wrapping down and kind of hugging around you. So it might feel a little bit like a cat pose here through your upper back. Let your head hang. See if you can release some of that activity through your neck. And if you can pull at the ground just a bit of your mat with your finger pads, you might find a little bit of resistance here. A little bit of a deeper stretch. And then let everything go soft. Just let your hands drop. Your elbows might come all the way down to the mat. And try a little bit less. Keeping your head heavy, walk your hands in closer to you until you come up to seated and then roll up. Eventually, your head comes straight up and your ears are about over your shoulders. Switch out the cross of your legs so it's a different way. We're going to do some seated cow and cat here. On an inhale, reach your heart forward, shoulder blades on your back, look up, gaze up, exhale, lean back, look down towards your belly. Inhale, swim your heart forward again. Exhale, rock it all the way back, look down. Oh, knees can come up, it's fine. Inhale, take it forward again. Just waiting for that hip to crack. Exhale, take it back. Twice more like this. All right, and then after that, last seated cat, come up. And you're gonna roll over onto your hands and knees, tabletop pose. So first, just find a little bit of movement, shift organically, move through your joints. And if you ever feel like this knees down stuff is a bit too much for you, just roll over your mat. So you've got double mat, or place a blanket underneath your knees is helpful as well. We're gonna take a cow-cat flow. So keeping your shins parallel, shift your hips back like a modified child's pose. On an inhale, rise to your knees, lift up, slight back bend. Exhale, bow, hips come down, modified child's. Inhale, keep your heart low, come forward for a cow pose with your belly down, lift up your hips and your heart. Exhale, press up through cat, arching your spine, fingertips spread wide, send your hips back to your heels, really long, just like that pose earlier. Inhale, lift to your knees, slight back bend, maybe even palms press. Exhale, bow, modified child's pose. Inhale, come forward for cow, belly down. Exhale, press up through cat, arch your spine. Send your hips back to your heels. 2 more rounds of that. Inhale, lift. Exhale, modified child's. Inhale, sweep your heart low, cow. Exhale, press up through cat. Send your hips back to child's. Final time like this. Move with your own breath. And then after that last cat pose, shift back to the modified child's pose. Reach your arms really long. Come up onto finger pads. Again, wrap your inner elbows up so you can feel your shoulder blades slide down. See if you can let your head be heavy. And then press back up to your hands and your knees for that tabletop pose. Again, make any adjustments that you need. You're gonna first shift the weight over to your left leg, and then bring your right knee out to the side and simply make some circles with your knee. Easier said than done. Move in one direction and then take it the other way. All right, with that right leg lifted, you're going to extend your right leg out to the side. Toes are still facing forward, and then your left foot is behind you. You might need to swing out your foot for a little bit of balance. Take your hands to your hips and then come all the way up for a gate pose. Hands on hips is perfectly fine if you like. Inhale, arms up toward the ceiling, wrapping pinkies toward each other. So you're pressing down through everything that touches the mat. So I've got the top of my left foot onto the mat, so I'm pressing to the top of my foot, pressing to the outside of my right. I'm going to bring my right hand down toward my leg, and I'm going to arc up and over. I find a deep stretch to the side of my body and also my hip flexor here. Maybe look up toward the ceiling. Breathe. Inhale, prepare. On an exhale, come right back up, arms lift. Right hand to right hip. And I'm going to take my left hand down to the mat. So here's another spot that if I want a little bit more balance, I'm going to pivot my left foot out closer to the right foot. Press through your left hand, wrap your inner elbow forward. You can stay in your finger pads, use a block, come all the way down to your palm. This is like a side, what's this called? Vinyasa. And if you'd like, you can lift up your right leg as well. Just breathe. And if you're feeling real sassy this morning, right fingertips up toward the ceiling. Inhale. Exhale. Release the right foot back down to the mat. Press your left fingertips, come all the way up. Replace your right knee next to the left. Come back down onto your hands and knees. Wiggle it out as much as you need. And then come back to find some stillness. Left leg comes out to the side. In this tabletop position, move your knee in one direction. Start to take a few circles, and then the opposite. And then take your knee out to the side, extend your entire leg, and then place your foot onto the mat. Bring your hands in closer to you. You can shift your hips back for balance, hands to hips, then lift all the way up. Arms lift toward the ceiling if this is comfortable. Shoulders are down. First, just breathe here. Find your stability. Pivot on the back knee if you need. Just be mindful and careful. Left hand comes down to left thigh. Arc over toward the left. Keep pressing through everything that's touching the mat. All right, lift back up to center. Right hand is going to come down to the mat, left hand to left hip. Again, if you need to pivot the back foot, do so. Find your strength here. Engage your core, and then if you would like, lift up left foot. If you would like to go further, left fingertips up toward the ceiling, not a requirement. Then take your left hand to your hip, drop your left foot down, and then pivot back so you're back in that tabletop position. Adjust as you need, maybe take a couple count and cat. And then shift your hips back, walk your hands forward just a bit, tuck your toes, take your first downward facing dog of this class. Deep breaths. On your next inhale, rise to your toes, roll to the top of a plank pose. Really accentuate the curves in your back as you do so. Adjust your stance as you need. Make sure your fingertips are spread really wide. At any time, you can always take your knees down to the mat. Wrap your inner elbows forward, show your shoulders back. Look just beyond your fingertips, maybe just beyond your yoga mat. Try to find neutrality in your neck. Just breathe. On your next exhale, chin to chest, puff up your back. Roll up and back to downward facing dog. We're going to do that several more times, but moving with our own breath. You can always take your knees down. I'll demonstrate that the first time. Inhale, come to toes, roll to the top of a plank pose. Drop knees down. On an exhale, chin to chest. Lift up knees, roll up and back. 2 more times. Inhale, rise to your toes, roll to top of plank. Option knees down. Exhale, chin to chest, take it up and back. Last time like that. Inhale, lift up, top of plank. Exhale, take it up and back. Take your knees to your mat, toes to touch, child's pose. Reach your hips to your heels. Your arms are in front of you if this is a bit much. Your arms have become a little fatigued. Bring them alongside your body, palms up. Shoulders drip down to the mat. 4 breaths here. At the end of your 4th breath, start to make your way back to your downward facing dog once again. Bend your knees really deeply. Look towards the top of your mat. On an exhale, step or hop all the way to the top to a forward fold. 3 times, we're going to take a halfway lift here. Inhale, lift up halfway, fingertips to shins or the mat, shoulder blades, reach back behind you, look forward. Exhale, chest to thighs, very strong forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Find resistance with your fingertips wherever they touch. Exhale, strong forward fold. Last time like that, breath in, halfway lift, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Hands to hips, elbows point up, roll your shoulder blades back. Inhale, come up all the way to standing. Exhale, Tadasana, arms alongside your body. Breathe. We're going to flow through a sun salutation A. Inhale, arms lift up, gaze up. Exhale, hinge at hips, forward fold all the way down. Breath in, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, step back to top of plank pose once again. On an exhale, lower all the way down to your mat, elbows graze toward your ribcage, untuck toes. Inhale, cobra pose. Exhale, take it all the way back down. Make your way back to downward facing dog. On an exhale, bend your knees, gaze toward the top of your mat. On an exhale, step or hop to the top, forward fold. Just 1 time, inhale, halfway lift, offer your heart. Exhale, fold. Press through your feet, reach your arms out and up. On an exhale, hands to your heart. and back alongside your body. Sun salutation B, take your toes together, heels slightly apart. Sit low, inhale, Utkatasana, fierce pose. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen. Exhale, fold, step back to top of plank pose. On an exhale, lower to or toward your mat. Untuck toes for cobra or upward facing dog. On an exhale, lift up your hips back to downward facing dog. Pivot on your left foot, step your right foot forward. Warrior one, lift up. Exhale, hands tap down, step back to top of plank pose. Vinyasa if you would like to take it. And then pivot on your right foot at an angle. Step your left foot forward, warrior one, rise up. And then on an exhale, hands tap down. Step back to top of plank pose. Vinyasa if you would like to take it. Also, you can go back to downward facing dog. Once you're in downward facing dog, 5 breaths. Fingertips are spread wide. Reach back through your inner thighs. Send your hips up toward the ceiling. At the end of your 5th exhale, bend your knees, look towards the top of your mat, and then step forward toward the top. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Toes together, heels apart. Inhale, sit low, chair pose, Utkatasana. Exhale, come up to standing, hands to heart center. Arms alongside your body, back to Tadasana. Maybe allow your eyes to close. Refocus, reset. Why did you show up? On an inhale, lift arms up, gaze up. Exhale, forward fold. Breath in, halfway lift, offer your heart. Exhale, fold to honor yourself. Step back to your downward facing dog. If you need to take a vinyasa, please take a vinyasa. Take a really strong breath in and a full breath out. On your next inhale, right leg comes up toward the ceiling. Tripod dog. On an exhale, take your knee to your nose. Come up really high onto your left toes and then step your right foot between your hands towards your left thumb. Angle your left foot down for warrior two. First, find the posture in your legs. Hover your fingertips away from the mat and then pressing through your feet. Roll all the way up to your warrior two pose. Shrug your shoulders down behind you. Gaze out beyond your right middle finger. My charger's coming out of the thing. Okay. All right, 3 times we're going to move to an exalted triangle. So flip your right hand up, drop your left, straighten your right leg, look up towards your right fingertips as they reach toward the ceiling. On an exhale, come back to warrior two, re-enter, keep pressing to the outside of your left foot. Again, inhale, straighten right leg, right fingertips come up, left is down. Exhale, warrior two. 3rd time like that. Exhale, back to the warrior two. Keeping your arms straight out, just straighten your right leg, turn your right toes in, and then turn your heels in. We're gonna take a goddess pose or a horse pose. Sit your hips low. So you might wanna take hands to hips first. You're gonna start to draw your hips up towards your ribs, right? So you find more Tadasana here, and sit low. You might need to find a little bit of movement. And then if you'd like, you can take your arms out, so your elbows are in line with your shoulders. Fingers spread. Simply breathe. Drop your hips a little bit lower. Keep your knees working away from you. All right, stand up straight again. Turn your heels out, toes in, arms out wide. Inhale, lift up your heart, create space. Exhale, hinge forward for a wide-legged fold. Hands come down whenever it's right. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, deepen that fold. Bent knees are certainly fine here. Make sure that you're sharing the weight with your body, both legs rather. And then slightly shifting the weight to the balls of your feet so you've got hips more in line with your feet rather than bumping out. On your next inhale, lift up about halfway. We're going to take Skandasana to the right. So send your right toes out to the side, left toes out. Start to send your hips back towards the right heel. Your hands can be down to the mat to give yourself some support, or you can bring them to your heart. Free breaths. At the end of your third exhale, take your hands back down to that. Shift it to the other side, Skandasana, left side. Right toes come out, your toes are pointing out to the side. If you'd like, take your hands to your heart. Once you get to where you're going, 3 breaths. At the end of that third exhale, hands come back down to the mat. And then you're going to pivot to the left. So to the left side of your mat so that you're in a low lunge. So you've got your back heel spiked up. Hover your fingertips away from the mat. When you're ready, lift up. First high crescent lunge. So maybe take a little bend to the back knee and then re-straighten the leg. Just breathe. We're going to move from here to a warrior 3 pose. So you're going to find a little bit of momentum here. All right. Inhale, prepare. On an exhale, lean forward. Start to lift up your back leg. Shoot your arms behind you. On an inhale, stand all the way back. Reach back for that high lunge once again. Awesome. On an exhale, shift your weight forward. Arms reach back, palms down. Stand all the way back, high crescent lunge. Third time like that. Swing it forward. Arms are back. Warrior 3. Stand all the way back to your high crescent lunge. Exhale, hands come around both your front foot at the back of your mat. More weight to your right palm. Left fingertips come up, low lunge twist. Exhale, take your left hand down. Step your left foot back to meet your right, high plank pose. Option to take a vinyasa or start to roll back to downward facing dog. Move when you're ready. On an inhale, left leg lifts up towards the ceiling, tripod dog. On an exhale, take your knee to your nose, keep your right toes really high, and then place your left foot between your hands for left thumb. Angle right foot down, find warrior 2 in your legs first. Hug your fingertips away from the mat and then unravel. First warrior 2 on this side. Shoulders are down. Make sure you got your shoulders about over your hips and you're not reaching too far to the front or to the back. Gaze out beyond your left middle finger. 3 times, we'll take an exalted triangle here. Flip left palm, drop right hand, straighten left leg, inhale. Exhale, back to warrior 2. Inhale, exalted triangle. Keep pressing through the outer edge of your right foot. Exhale. Third time. Exhale. All right, straighten the front leg. Turn your left toes in. Then turn both heels in. Goddess pose once again. Bend your knees. Take your arms up to the side or take your hands to your hips. So the other day I had this dream. So this is also called horse pose. And I was like watching all these yoga teachers teach the same pose in their own different ways. And this one comes up and he's teaching this pose. And he's like, this is called equine pose. And I was like, is it really? It's so fancy. Just breathe, sit lower. All right, straighten your legs, let your arms come down. Heels are out, toes are slightly in. So the outsides of your feet are parallel to the short sides of your mat. Hands to your waist, to your hips, elbows back. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, hinge forward, keep your hands at your waist until you've gone as far as you're gonna go. And then drop your fingertips down to the mat. Inhale, halfway lift, shift the weight more to the balls of your feet. Engage your quadriceps by lifting up on your kneecaps. Exhale, deepen. If it works for you and if this is what you need, you might start walking your hands further behind you. Just breathe. On your next inhale, lift up about halfway. We'll take Skandasana over to the left. So you're gonna pivot your toes outward, bend your left knee, start to straighten your right leg. Again, it can be bent. You're gonna lean toward the left. You can have your hands to support you or bring your hands to heart center. Once you get to where you're going, 3 breaths. At the end of that third exhale, hands come down so you can shift to the opposite side. Again, you can keep hands down for support on a block or hands to your heart. 3 breaths. At the end of that third exhale, hands come right back down. You're gonna keep pivoting toward the right until you're in a low lunge. We're back at what used to be the top of the front of the mat rather. All right, hover your fingertips away from the mat, and when you're ready, lift all the way up. First, high lunge on this side, so we'll bend to the back knee, into the pose as you're ready. Stretch shoulders down and away. And then 3 times we move to the warrior 3 pose. Inhale, lift up. On an exhale, shift your weight forward. Left leg lifts up, hands reach behind you. Inhale, stand back, high lunge. Exhale, forward to your warrior 3. Warrior 3. Inhale, take it back. Third time to take you to warrior 3. Take it all the way back to the high lunge. And then place your hands on either side of the front foot. More weight to left palm, peel right fingertips up. Low lunge, twist. Next exhale, take your hand back down to the mat. Step a right foot back to meet your left. Vinyasa, if you would like it, we'll meet in downward facing dog. For the vinyasa, you take an exhale. Elbows graze with rib cage. Untuck toes. Inhale for a back bend. And your exhale takes you back to downward facing dog. 3 more breaths here. And after your third exhale, knees to mat, hips to heels, child's pose. Again, option for arms to be in front of you or alongside your body with palms up, dripping shoulders down. If child's pose is not comfortable for you, find another restful posture. Again, allow yourself to just be. Five more breaths on your own, and we'll meet in downward facing dog. The first of 5 breaths begins now. About now, you might be coming upon that 5th exhale. Begin your path to downward facing dog. If you need a little bit more time, take what you need. In your downward facing dog, walk your hands back about a hand's distance closer to you, so you've got this like squatty down dog. You might need to bend your knees to do this. You're gonna reach your right hand across your body for your left thigh, calf, or ankle. And then you're going to twist yourself, keep pressing your left hand, spread your fingertips wide, keep moving your left hip back in space. Maybe you can look underneath your left arm, hello ceiling. Then release that grip, place your right hand back down, reach your left arm across your body for thigh, calf, or ankle. Right hip draws back. I'm pressing down and away with my right hand with spread fingertips. Maybe I can look underneath my right armpit as well. And then I'm going to place my left hand back down. Come back to that downward facing dog shape. And just to make sure that we've got the right distance, lift up to your toes, roll to the top of a plank pose, adjust as you need. And then on an exhale, take your chin to your chest, rock up and down to your downward facing dog. On an inhale, right leg up and back, tripod dog. On an exhale, pull your knee to your nose, lift up your right toes, place your foot between your hands, or right thumb. Angle left foot down. Warrior 2 in your lower body first, and then when you're ready, come into your warrior 2. Bending into right knee, looking out of a right middle finger. Option to stay here or moving with me 3 times, move to an exalted triangle. Flip right palm, inhale, come up. Exhale, warrior 2. Exalted triangle. Exhale, return. Third time like that. Exhale. Then simply straighten the front leg. Turn your toes in, heels in, goddess pose, equine pose. Just breathe. Just be. And then hands to hips, straighten your legs, heels out so that you're outside the feet, parallel. Inhale, lift up, create space. Exhale, hinge forward. Hands drop to the mat, way you'd like. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. 3 breaths here. Lift up about halfway. Skandasana to the right. So bend your right knee, send your hips over toward that heel. Maybe you come all the way down. Hands to heart if you would like once you get to where you're going. 3 breaths. The end of that third exhale, shift to the other side. Maybe hands come down, or maybe you trust your balance once you get to where you're going on the left. 3 breaths in Skandasana. At the end of that third exhale, hands do come down. Pivot to the back of your mat so you're in a low lunge, all toes and heels facing in the same direction. Hover fingertips away from the mat, lift up, high lunge. It's the second time on this side. Once again, we're going to take 3 times to go to the warrior 3. If you prefer to stay in high lunge, you can do that. If you'd like a more dynamic movement, inhale, lift up partly. Exhale, swing it forward. Warrior 3. Can you find the pose at the end of the exhale? Inhale, slow come back, high lunge. Exhale, warrior 3. Inhale, back to the high lunge. Third warrior 3 like this. And then back to your high lunge. On an exhale, warrior 2 to the back of the mat. Sit low. Shrug out. Where is the tension residing where it does not need to be? Where does it not serve this pose? And then from here, we're going to take an Ardha Chandrasana. So take your right hand to your right hip. Left fingertips come out. Lean out. Shift the weight to the left leg. Right leg will lift. This is similar to a pose we did at the beginning of the class. We're actually going to stay here for a couple breaths. If you would like, you can either continue to point your right elbow up toward the ceiling or lift right fingertips up as well. Flex or point, find spectator through your right foot. Just breathe. Lift up on your neck, left kneecap. Breathe, breathe, breathe. And then take a little bend into your left knee, that standing leg. You're going to stand all the way back to your warrior 2. Very nice. On a nice exhale, cartwheel to the back of your mat so you're in that low lunge. Drop your right knee to the mat. More right weight to your right hand. Left fingertips come up. Low lunge twist with your back knee down. Exhale, take your left hand down. Hop up that back knee, step left foot back to meet right. Vinyasa, if you'd like, we'll meet in downward facing dog. Strengthening breath in and cleansing out. On an inhale, left leg up and back, tripod dog. On an exhale, take your knee to your nose, lift up high your right toes, step your left foot in between your hands. Angle right foot down, first side warrior 2 in your lower body, and then unravel, warrior 2 once again. Shrug your shoulders back. Pull your hips down to your hips rather. Maybe sink a little lower. Option to stay here or 3 times with me, moving to an exalted triangle. Inhale, straighten front leg, left arm lifts up. Exhale, warrior 2. Twice more. Gaze out beyond your left finger. And then straighten left leg. Turn left toes in. Hands to your hips. Send your heels in. Goddess pose. Equine pose. Arm placement of your choice. Sit low, 3 breaths. The end of your third exhale, hands to hips, straighten your legs, heels out, toes slightly in. Find an exhale, hinge it all the way forward, let your hands drop down to the mat whenever it's time. And then 3 breaths here. The end of your third exhale, lift up halfway. Shift to the left for Skandasana, all toes point out. Right toes are lifted, hands to heart if you would like. 3 breaths. The end of your third exhale, shift to the other side, hands down or not, challenge your balance perhaps. 3 breaths. At the end of that third exhale, do take your hands to the mat and then pivot towards the front of the mat once again so that you're in this low lunge. Position yourself appropriately, then hover your fingertips away. Come up to your high crescent lunge. Option to stay here or 3 times, moving to the Vira 3 with me. Inhale, lift up, get some space and momentum. Exhale, shift forward, warrior 3. Arms swing back. Inhale back, high lunge. Exhale, warrior 3. Inhale, high lunge. Final time. Come back to your high crescent lunge. Settle in. And then on an exhale, warrior 2, toward the right. Sit low. Okay, from here, Ardha Chandrasana, left hand to left hip. You're going to lean forward, right hand to block or to your mat. Come up onto the back toes, give yourself a little bit of help. Shift forward. Left leg will lift. Action through your left toes. Left shoulder stacks on top of your right. Even here, you're knitting ribs and hips toward each other. Strengthen your core. If you like, left fingertips up toward the ceiling. Just breathe. If you come out, just come back in. And then little bend to the front knee, to the standing knee. Stand all the way back to your warrior 2. Yes. On an exhale, cartwheel toward the front of the mat, so you're in a low lunge. Drop your left knee to the mat. Weight to left palm, peel right fingertips up, low lunge twist. And then on an exhale, left hand comes back down. Pop up the back knee, step right foot back to meet left. You're in plank pose. Vinyasa, if you would like, we'll meet in downward facing dog. Once in your downward facing dog, give yourself 3 breaths. And at the end of your third exhale, knees to mat, hips to heels for child's pose, or another restful posture of your choice. What can you release? How can you be? Give the next 5 breaths to yourself, whether it's to rest longer, drink some water, work on another posture that might be suiting you, and we'll meet back in downward facing dog. The first of 5 breaths begins now. All right, you might be coming upon the end of that 5th exhale. Transition to downward facing dog. Deep breath in. Full breath out. Again, with yourself, for yourself. When you're ready, your inhalation, right leg lifts up and back, and on exhale, place your foot between your hands towards your right thumb. Angle your left foot down like warrior 2, but then we're gonna take a warrior 2 down dog hybrid. So you're gonna walk your torso and your arms over to the left at an angle, keeping your lower body in this downward facing dog. Arms are more like A down dog, I prefer to be up on my finger pads. You might find that being on your palms is fine. I like a little bit more lift. See if you can drop your head. Keep your right knee moving up so that your knee is over your ankle. Then inhale, lift up. You're gonna pivot your arms back toward the front of the leg. Pivot onto your back toes. We're gonna take a lizard posture here. So your option, whether you want your knee to be down or to be up. You're gonna walk your right foot to the outside. So it's hand, hand, foot instead of hand, foot, hand. Inhale, lift your heart out. And then on an exhale, you're gonna start to bend your elbows. You might find that a block is appropriate here. Maybe you're in a place you can put forearms on block, or if your height's to it, the top height might be a little precarious. Or you might come all the way down onto your mat. For this variation, you're going to gently draw your knee in towards your right shoulder, but see if you can make your right toes like out to the side a little bit. That usually helps make things a little bit more comfortable. Let your cheeks get hollow, take the pose out of your forehead. All right, and then press up into your hands once again. If your back knee is down, tuck your back toes to lift up your back knee. And then you're going to step back to a plank pose from here. Option for a vinyasa, option to hover your right leg through your chaturanga. If you do that, make sure that both tops of feet are down for your back. When you're ready, inhale, left leg lifts up, create space. Exhale, use it, pull your knee to your chest, place your foot between your hands toward left thumb, and go right foot out like warrior two. Find that position in your legs, left knee still working out to the side, so your knee is over the ankle, and then pivot your torso and your arms over to the right, so that you're reaching out at an angle. So you've got this hybrid posture. And again, you can be on finger pads, or you can be flat on your hand. You can find a prop. Just breathe. Then lift up halfway. You're going to pivot back toward that front foot, put onto the back ball of your back toes, and then do what you did on the other side. If you took knee down on the first side, take it down again. Wiggle your left foot to the outside. So again, you've got foot and hand if you're reading left to right. Inhale, reach your heart out, create space. And then on an exhale, start to deepen into the posture, leaning down, elbows start to bend back. Maybe you're on a block, or all the way down onto your mat. And again, on this variation, gently draw your knee in closer toward you rather than letting it drop to the side. When the side starts to feel about the same as the other, start to press back up into your hands. If your back knee is down, tuck the back toes to lift it back up, and then step your left foot back to meet your right. Option to hover the leg. So you can take a lifted chaturanga. This is up to you. A vinyasa is an option if you'd like to take it. On an exhale, shift forward, keeping the left leg lifted. Both tops of feet down for the back bend. Deep inhale. And exhale back to downward facing dog. 3 breaths. The end of your third exhale, take your knees to mat, and then just come back to sit on your heels. Hi guys. Okay, so we're gonna do just a little bit of stretching for our outer hips, and we're gonna play with an arm balance prep here. So have your legs out in front of you. Some of you guys have done this stuff with me before. There's really not a whole lot to it. It's not really elegant though, so I'm just gonna be honest. So first you're gonna take your right leg, and you're going to cradle your leg like a baby. So you're gonna place your right foot, the outer part of your foot, into your elbow crook or somewhere along your forearm. Right arm kind of comes around, flex your right toes, And then rock a little left and right. For me, it's comfortable to have my left knee bent. Some people prefer the left leg out. Whatever feels okay. So you're just gonna rock from side to side. Rock with that baby. Okay, now it's self-massage time. I'm gonna take my left hand to the outside of my left foot so that my right hand can come behind me and be a balance. Here, I might want to extend my left leg. I'm going to lean back and over to the right. I'm going to try to get kind of in this muscle that is deep in my bum. So you might have to like work around. You will eventually find a spot that you'll be like, oh my, something's happening. And if you find that, oh my, something's happening spot, you might want to just like hang out there a bit, give yourself a massage. It is okay. It's never going to go too deep because you can always come out of it immediately. Know the difference between sensation and discomfort. All right, then sit yourself right back up. Left leg is out, right knee is in. Take your right knee and you want to pull it underneath your armpit. So you're pulling your foot in as you're pressing your foot out. So kind of like we were doing at the beginning of class with the hand to toe pose, flexing toes toward face, heels out as you're drawing yourself in. Cool, 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 cool. All right, things are gonna get interesting. So much like when we were doing our lizard pose, we're going to attempt to put this leg to our right shoulder, okay? So again, I'm gonna take my right foot to my left hand. I'm gonna take my right hand, I'm gonna bisect my calf muscle, I'm gonna squish out to the side, scooch under. I'm gonna bring my knee up and over, squeezing knee in. Yes, feel familiar? And if you'd like, take your hands on either side of you, flex to your left foot. If you want, lift up. Go ahead and try it. You can always come out, come back in. Squeeze the knee towards the shoulder, clamp in. Press the hands, lift up. All right, and then safely come out of this. You're going to unwind. Take your leg off. Bend both knees, place feet into mat. Lean back, like watching TV pose. Knock both knees over to the right. Knock both knees over to the left. And then come back to center. We're going to take the other side. So again, come up, seat. I like to have a bend to my right knee. You might prefer to have your leg extended, totally up to you. Right hand, outside of left foot. I'm gonna wrap my left arm around my shin so I can rock my leg like a baby. If you have mobility, you might take your foot into the crook of your elbow. Okay, and then we're going to not be elegant anymore. Right hand to the outside of the foot. So your left hand can be behind you, give yourself lots of space. Extend right leg, that feels right for me. I'm going to lean over to left and back, kind of move around. I'm trying to expose a spot that normally is not exposed. Like usually we're not in this shape very often. I mean, I don't know your life, but I'm not. And then you're gonna find that sweet spot. Might access it differently than the other side. Little massage. Okay, and then come right back up. So, like we did before, toes to face, heels out, hand to your foot or to your shin if that's better. And you're going to pull your knee underneath your armpit. So let's see if you can find Skandasana here. So pull your knee back as your knee pushes forward. Flexing your right foot will help. Also, this is part of the prep. Okay, then release that. So right hand to the outside of the foot, left hand. Bisect the calf, squish it up to the side, scooch under so that your shoulder is underneath or to the knee. Flex your foot, clamp in. Yes. Flex both feet. Find Tadasana. Hands on your toward the left hip on the ground. Right hand, same but different. Look forward. Squeeze in. Press through hands. Lift up. Drop down. Feel free to come out. To come back in. Try again. And then you're ready, carefully unravel yourself. Yes. Take your knees down, lean back, both knees bent. Drop knees over to the left. Drop knees over to the right. Then come up to seated. We're going to take a fire log pose. So I'm going to start kind of the same way, leaning back. Flex right foot. I'm going to place my leg so that my shin is parallel to the top of my mat, the short side, or the long side, depending. And then I'm going to take my heel on top of my right knee, flexing that foot as well, but let the knee drop down. Start to come up to sit, like a little bit straighter if that works. If not, stay exactly where you are. Make sure that you've got these parallel. So the idea is it looks like stacked pieces of wood. So that's why it's called fire log pose. And then if you like, start to hinge your way forward. Try to keep a straight spine. If you start to bend over, start to slouch, simply come out, hinge at your hips, heart forward, just breathe. As you're ready, start to lift back up, lean back, and then ever so carefully, you're going to unstack the top, and then place your right foot into the mat as well. Knock your knees toward each other. Simply release. And we'll take fire log other side. So flexing left foot, shin parallel to whatever side of the mat you're at. Flex right foot, heel on top of knee, opposite knee drops toward the other heel, start to sit up, adjust as you need. If you need to take your hands to, to your bum, to your thighs, create a little bit more space. Again, you want your shins to be approximately parallel. It's okay if your knees are way, way, way up, just where you're at. All right, and then as you're ready, maybe you start to hinge forward. Walk your hands along with you if you're hinging forward so that your wrists are about in the same plane as your shoulders, so you're not like reaching out, you're not way far back. You've got some support here. All right, then start to come out, lifting your way up. If you were hinged forward, we'll all lean back. And then carefully take off the top foot, places the mat, knees bent. And the same with the left foot. Drop your knees toward each other. Relax. And then take your knees apart, walk your feet so they're about hips width distance. And you're going to take your hands to the backs of your thighs. Lean back, shoulder blades are back. So find Tadasana here in your chest. Maybe like a little bit of a hunch that helps you to find that balance, or just find the straightness. And if you'd like, hover your feet, so shins are parallel rather. If you'd like, bring your arms out to the side. Keep a long, slow breath. Keep breathing. Screen is not paused. If you took your feet up, let them set back down to the mat. Take your hands to the backs of your thighs, and then roll your way onto your back, keeping your knees bent. Walk your feet a little bit closer in toward you. We're going to take a flow bridge here. So on an inhale, lift up your hips, reach your arms up and back behind you, backs of palms touch the mat. Maybe lift up on your toes if that feels right. On an exhale, wave your spine down, your arms come alongside you, hands tap down on your heels and hips tap down. Inhale, lift hips up, create space. Exhale, wave it back down. 3 more times, your breath. That third time, you're going to have your hips down, your arms alongside you. We're going to take a Supta Baddha Konasana pose. So start to inch the soles of your feet together until they tap, and start to drop your knees out to the side. You can keep your arms alongside your body, or place your hands onto your thighs, hands on belly, maybe one hand on heart, one hand on belly. Allow your eye gaze to become softer, maybe even eyelids to close. The next posture of this class will be Shavasana. If you prefer to stay in the Supta Baddha Konasana pose, I invite you to stay exactly where you are, only making adjustments enough so that you can feel more comfortable for a longer period of time. If you'd like to take a more traditional Shavasana, then please follow these instructions. Take your hands to the backs of your thighs to help lift your knees up toward each other, placing the soles of your feet back onto the mat. And then extend your legs out in front of you so that they are flat out, and then separate your legs a little bit wider so that your feet are closer toward the corners of your mat. Let your feet flop out to the sides. Your arms come out as well, palms up. Press your head against the mat enough that you can lift up your shoulders, slide your shoulder blades back down and release down. You might find that you also need to press through your heels and your back to lift up your hips, and then slide your tailbone down a bit. Find a little bit more stability and release back down. If there are any more adjustments that you need to make to your clothes, to your temperature, to your body, please make them. Let the soles of your feet be soft. Tops of the feet relaxed, ankles relaxed. Your calves and your shins, your kneecaps have dropped. Thighs are heavy, your belly is soft, your hips, pelvis, low back, weighted down. Belly is soft and rises gently with each breath. Heart is supported. Shoulders are released, relaxed. Upper arms drift down, soft elbows. Inner forearms, outer forearms, wrists, backs of hands, palms of hands, fingertips. Your throat is soft, neck is long. Bottom jaw separates from the top jaw, tongue drops from the roof of your mouth for hollow cheeks. Heavy eyes behind closed eyelids and a smooth forehead. Allow yourself to be. A deeper breath of life in and out. Finding some movement through your outermost parts of your body. Allow those movements to become larger, going in toward the center of your body. And when you're ready, there's no rush. Take as much time as you'd like. You'll roll over onto your right side. Pull your knees in closer to you and rest. And then when you're ready, return to a seated posture of your choice for a very brief meditation and reflection. Press your palms together in Anjali Mudra. Thumbs towards sternum. I'm going to sing the sound of Om one time. If you'd like to join me, please do. If you prefer to listen, then simply listen. We'll first take an inhale together. And exhale. Breathe in to sing. On a breath in, reach your arms out and up, palms press above you. And on an exhale, take your thumbs to space between your eyebrows for clarity of thought, to your lips for clarity of speech, and back to your heart for clarity of action. Then bow your head to your heart. Honor that which knows, honor the being. Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me and helping me deepen my own. In the name of the highest good, namaste.
Thank you.